There are over 8 billion people in the world, and every single one of them has a story. Most of those stories we'll never have the chance to hear. Often, we're so focused on our own paths that we miss the chance to truly listen to the lives unfolding around us. Even those closest to us carry experiences, emotions, and knowledge that we may never fully understand. This series is about changing that. It's an invitation to sit down with someone, be curious and listen, to learn from the person across from you. The conversations here are raw, real, and full of surprises. They're the kind that make you laugh, cry, reflect, and feel a little more alive. No script, no rush, just real, unfiltered connection. A space for stories, the big ones, the small ones, and everything in between.
Where do I even start? For those who do not know me, I am Hayley Gibbs and welcome into Everything in Between, my brand new series. I am the creator, the host, I guess, if you will, of this series, and it is produced under my business Dazel Digital, where I do social media management, photography, all the little creative bits. But this is something a little bit different. This is something a little bit more personal. I have literally been thinking about doing this series for like 2 years now. I've always been obsessed with people's lives. Like, maybe I'm just a bit nosy, but I love to talk to people, and I am always thinking about like, oh, what's that person doing? What makes them? Like, what are they passionate about? Like, the only way I can put it into words is ever since I was younger, I'd go to like the airport or the shops or whatever with my mum, and I would always be like, Mum, what's that person doing here? It's so crazy that like all these people are in one spot and like they all have different lives. Like, I know that sounds really random, but like obviously they've got different lives, but you're at the airport, there's so many people. Why are they here? Are they here for work? Are they visiting family? They're flying out here. Have they ever been here before? Like, I have just been obsessed with what makes someone them and what shaped them as a person. And because everyone has gone through something, everyone has something to say. This is a video series that's kind of like podcast style, where we sit down, we get comfortable, and we yap our tits off. I've called it Everything in Between because that is where most of life happens, in the in between. I'm 21. I have no big pivotal moments. I have no children. I've not got married. Like, my life is only just starting out. And I feel like this series is for the people to share their big moments, but it's also for the people who still are becoming who they are, who are still figuring life out and who are still living in the in-between. So many people we walk past every day carry so many experiences, knowledge, memories, moments that they've lived through that we never expect. I feel like we're so quick to judge a book by its cover, and we never actually take the time to think about what that person's gone through, or to even ask. Like, how many people in your life do you not know half of what they've been through? So yeah, this series is just about finding out more about people. It's about that actual human connection. We can find out, oh, they've gone through all these big life things, but also how do we relate to one another? I sit across from someone and, oh, I actually never knew that we'd both enjoy the same thing, or we both hate that same thing. It's just sitting down and being like, no, this is human connection, us sitting down, listening to each other, talking to each other, and finding out who each other are. Basically, this series is for the people who are just like me and are so curious and love hearing about other people's lives and what they've gone through, whether that's big pivotal moments or even just like the funny side quests people go through. But I guess I also want this to be a place for the people that don't really know where they are in life at the moment. They might feel a little lost and might feel behind and like they're not where they should be, which I guess a lot of people do feel. And I am someone who really believes that everything happens for a reason. Even if we don't see it at the time, we go through things, and whether it's the worst experience of our life, we come out of it and we have learned about ourselves. We have grown as a person and we know who we want to be and who we don't want to be. And I do want this space and the people I talk to hopefully inspire some people to just do the bloody damn thing. If you want to do something, go and do it. If it's not hurting anyone, as much as it might not be the ordinary, it might not be the norm. If you're passionate about something, go and do it. And yeah, so I want this. If you're feeling stuck, I hopefully want some of these stories for you to realize no one's path is the same. Everyone is on different timelines, and that is what is beautiful about everyone's life being different, because you will look around and be like, oh, I'm so behind. This person's doing this. Like, no, you're not behind, because they probably have so many other things that they look at and think, I'm behind. So if this can inspire even one person to just do the bloody damn thing, then that's a win for me. From my experience, I also feel like there's so much pressure when you're in school. Obviously, I'm 21, but when you're in school, there's so much pressure to like know what you want to do after school, and to like, they're constantly like, you have to do your ATAR and you need to know what you're going to do. And if you're not going to do this, you have to go to TAFE and blah, 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 blah. But like, you do not need to know what you want to do. I was having a conversation with one of my friends the other day, and she was like, oh, the teachers, and we had to choose our subjects, and I don't want to know what I want to do. And I was like, take a bloody damn seat. You don't need to know what you want to do. You might be 30 and still figuring it out. I was at school and I had no idea what I wanted to do. Everyone was doing their ATAR, and I was like, I'm not doing my ATAR. As long as I pass my subjects, that's all I care about. So I did the things that I liked. I did art, I did drama, I did media studies, and then I just did like my English and my math, and then some random other subject because I had to. And I just passed, and everyone was so stressed in those last 2 years of school. And then it was either my last, like I was either in grade 12 and it was towards the end of the year, or it was the start of my first year out. I don't know. But basically, my mum was like, okay, Hayley, you either get a job or you go to uni. And those are your two options. And I was like, okay, well, your girl's not working. So she's going to uni. And I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And I did apply to do film at uni. I was like, no, like I've worked doing film before, little assistant with Ian. Yeah, but I've worked doing film before. So I was like, oh, I'll go to uni for film because I think that that's what I'll be passionate about. Anyway, applied, did my interview, got in, and I was like, everything's all good. And then the trauma struck. I get a phone call saying, hi, Haley. So I applied to do it online. It was in Melbourne, blah, blah, blah. How do you do film online? Exactly why they cancelled the bloody course. They call me and they're like, look, like we're not running the course anymore. Like, we're so sorry. I cried. 18-year-old Hayley sat in her lounge room crying because, like, what does this mean? I just thought I was going to go to uni for this. Now everything's been thrown out of whack. What do I do? Like, you know? And when I was looking at that same university, they also did a digital and social media degree. And obviously, this degree did not exist like when I started. It didn't exist. So when I was 18 and I applied, it didn't exist 3 years ago. It was a brand new degree, like social media and digital media and that kind of stuff was so brand new. And it did, I've always been creative. So I sparked my interest. And when I was looking, I was like, oh, this is an option, but no, I'll do film. And when I got that phone call and I was crying like a baby, I hung up and then I literally made my mum, 18-year-old Hayley, I made my mum call the university and be like, oh, like actually can Hayley apply for the digital and social media like degree? Because I was like, oh, I like this. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just did it out of a whim. And the lady on the phone, shout out to you. I don't remember your name, but she was like, look, you've already applied, you've already done your interview, and you've already gotten in. I'll just transfer you. So because that degree didn't happen, she transferred me to this other degree that I didn't even apply for. And I didn't have to do any other steps. I didn't have to submit anything. And I did because it was like an extended course. Not extended, accelerated course. So a degree usually takes 3 years. I only did it in 2 years because it was like longer semesters or whatever. So I did my 2-year degree and I got my bachelor. And now you're watching me, who has a business. I did not know what I was doing at school, and I applied for something else. So if you're at school or even my age or even bloody 30 years old, you do not need to know what you want to do. You will figure it out as long as you're doing something that you're like, oh, this is fun. I'm passionate about this. That's all that matters. And I just feel like there is so much pressure on people. The amount of people I went to school with who started uni and then dropped out or changed degrees, like it is so much more like normal for that, because people, you're really pushed into a box to be like, choose something right now. And I didn't do my ATAR and I still got a degree. I think, look, ATAR is good to give you options straight after school. Gives you so many more options to different courses. But also, doesn't that go away after a year? Like, I don't bloody know. But like, don't stress. As long as you pass school, you'll be all good. And this leads me on because obviously the degree I did, it wasn't like outside of the norm, but it was a brand new industry. Lots of people, like, it was just a bit odd. Like, if I were to say to a teacher or someone, they're like, oh, that's not really an industry. It's a lot harder to get into because it's like emerging than if I just became a bloody nurse. And I think it also comes living in a small town. I do talk about the small town mindset later on in an episode, but the fear of judgment. People are so quick to judge what you're doing. When I started my business, I was scared for my freaking life. I'll tell you that much, because it is like living here. People, you either do what everyone else is doing or you do something different and you leave. And as soon as someone does something different, all eyes are on you. So when I started my business, I was scared because I was doing something on my own, and that wasn't just like the norm, and it was putting myself out there. But like, why the freak was I scared? Because let me tell you right now, I'm thriving. I'm thriving. But that leads me on to this. Now doing this project, that's a business and I'm thriving. But now I'm putting my face out there. I'm putting my personality. This is not, I'm not hiding behind everyone else. I'm putting my personality, my project, my ideas. This is all me. So your girl's scared. Because I also do acting. Obviously, I'm putting myself out there. I'm on a stage. But when you do that, you're in a cast, you're hiding behind a character that you're playing, and it's everyone involved when it's acting. It's not just like you, this is me, but this is just me. So I'm scared, and I'm scared. I was talking to my mum the other night after we filmed a few of these episodes, and I turned to my mum and I was like, Mum, I'm not posting it. I'm not doing this project anymore. And my mum looked at me and she was like, Hayley, why? And I was like, I'm just scared. Like, because when I post this, as much as I am so passionate about this and this is something I want to do, I'm scared that when I post this, people I know are going to see this. And what are they going to say? And are they going to be like, oh, Hayley, like, a literal mole, like, why does she think she's an influencer? Which I am an influencer, but like, why does she think she's an influencer? Why does she, but then I'm like, and my mum just looked at me because she knew I know, she knew I knew, she knew you get what I'm saying? She knew that I knew, no, what am I saying? I know that people are going to judge you whether you do something or not. I can walk down the street and her pants are crusty, her hair needs bloody to be washed. Like, people and other people are going to judge you no matter what. So why not just bloody do it? And that's what I'm doing. I don't care if this is just my grandma watching, because if it is, hello grandma. And I'm passionate about this, and this is something I want to do. If no one watches, I don't care, because I'm having a bloody good time doing this, you know? And also, people are so focused on themselves and what they're doing that they're really like, are they even looking at you? Are they even that worried about what you're doing? Because they're so focused on themselves. And like, I grew up with my mum, my sibling in Western Australia. Then we moved here. We did not have the cookie cutter lifestyle. We were not the norm. And I learned from a young age from my mum that people are going to judge you and to just do your own thing. People are going to have something bad to say or just anything to say, whether you're thriving or not thriving. And my mum taught, no, Hayley, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, be yourself and do what you want to do, because you're all you've got in your life. So like yourself and like what you're doing. The other day when I was sat down coming up with topics and questions to talk about in this episode, and I was with one of my friends and we were talking about fear of judgment, the question of, are you scared of failure or are you scared of success came up. And I feel like we hear so much about people being scared to fail. No one likes to fail, obviously, but we have to fail to succeed. So we get so, well, at least I can talk for myself. I get so comfortable failing that as soon as something actually like successful or I get an opportunity comes up, I'm scared for my life. I self-sabotage. I try and figure out any way possible. Like the other day, I got an opportunity and I think of everything, like every reason why I shouldn't do that thing, why I shouldn't do it, because, oh no, actually, like, I'll have to go and do this, or no, that like puts me out of this way. And like, I find every reason that I shouldn't do that because it's out of our comfort zone. And I feel like, oh, I would rather be comfortable in failure than out of my comfort zone in success. Success makes it real. It makes it no longer a dream or a what if. And that's a shift. Like that's so, it's scary and it's something that I need to work on. So yeah, we need to just get out of our comfort zone, because you can't grow unless you're outside of your comfort zone. Now with this series, I have always been creative. I'm an actor, so I've always done acting, I've always done performing. Ever since I was younger, I have been forcing my friends to be in films that I've made. And I started acting in 2014, so I bloody don't even know how old I was then. But yeah, ever since I can remember, I've always been creative, and I always knew I was going to do something creative. I just wasn't sure what it was going to be. I feel like the content creating really started with the baddie, the icon, Brooke Star. Now, I don't even know what year it was, but when I was younger, I was an OG influencer. She was ahead of her time. So my middle name's Brooke, and my nickname that like my whole family would call me is Brookstar. And I had a Facebook page where I would post, like, I was an influencer. I would post like monthly favorites. I would post like singing video. I'm not a singer. I would post singing videos. Like I did everything and more. Makeup tutorials, gaming videos. Like she was so ahead of her time. I'll put some clips in here, but she was a baddie. She was so iconic and she lives in me still. I am still Brooke Star.
But very May, very fruit, very nature.
That's where the content creation kind of started, and I continued doing it, and I think I made a few videos in high school, and then that's where the fear of judgment came in, and I stopped and I put everything on private because I was scared of people judging me. But low-key, like, I was a baddie icon. Sorry, not sorry. That started because I have always been consuming content. Obviously, being born in 2003, like, as I reached, I guess, how old was I? Like, as I reached not being a fetus, like the iPods and the iPads and the DSs came out, and like I was in that kind of era. And it was when YouTube was like just like the OG YouTubers were getting big. And I've always like been a YouTube stan, if you will. I've always consumed YouTubers, like the UK YouTubers, if you know, you know. And yeah, and that's where I guess Brookstar got the idea from. She wanted to be Zoella, like, hello. So yeah, I've always been interested in that kind of content. I've always been making it. And that also leads me on like a little hidden lore, which I don't think's very hidden. I am deeply a fangirl. I am an obsessive fangirl. It's not like crazy that I'll cry at your feet. Like, that's a bit too much for me. But I am so deeply a stan. Like, me now, sitting here filming, is being a stan, but on the next level. Because I was obsessed with the Draw My Lives. I was obsessed with, like, the vlogs and just people's life and how they grew up and how they got to where they are. Same with, like, celebrities, like actors, singers. I obsessed. Like, saying, I'm talking merch. I did have a few fan pages in my day. We will not extend any further. But I was just like obsessed with how they got to where they were. And I think because it's so far removed, so different to how I grew up, I've always just been interested in that. And I will extend on a story that literally everyone I know knows. I have had, being a stan, being a fangirl since the bloody day I was born, I have had a few celebrity encounters. And I will extend on one because Troye Sivan, who's absolutely thriving right now, we'll talk about him. So I was obsessed with like the UK YouTubers, Zoella, Thatcher Joe, Pointless Blog, all those people. And Troye, when he first started out, was on YouTube, and he like did a few collabs with those people, and that's how I found out who Troye was. And he was a singer, and he went on his Blue Neighborhood tour, and this is 2016. So I am 12 years old, I think I was about to be 13. And I had convinced my mum to take me and my cousin to Brisbane, two 12-year-olds, or to a 12 and a 13-year-old, to Brisbane, 8 hours on the train to go and see the baddie Troye Sivan. And so we went there because we were going to his Blue Neighborhood tour. And mum takes us, and we're on the train, and it's my like first, I've been to Brisbane before, but I couldn't remember it. So this was my first time like being in the city that I remembered. And we get off the train. It's like 5 o'clock. I don't even know. Like it's sunset, if you will. So whatever time that is. And we're staying at the Hilton Brisbane, which RIP, because they've just like gotten rid of it. And I'm actually sad. Like, yeah, so I'm crying. But anyway, we get off the train, we go to the Hilton. I'm shocked. I'm like, this is where I'm meant to be. This is the luxury life I'm supposed to live. And we get off the train, we go upstairs, we like book in, whatever. And I think like these two crazy kids, we've just been on the train, like we've not showered, like we're looking rough. And then it's like dark outside now, and mum's like, okay, let's go to the mall to get something for dinner, and then like we'll come back to the room. And we're walking through the foyer, and we click the little elevator to go down to the mall or whatever. And we click the elevator, and me and my cousin like, oh my God, Troye, oh my God, the place. Next second, elevator doors open, and Troye Sivan walks out of the elevator between, it was like a movie. It all happened in slow motion. I'm telling you right bloody now. And he just walks out. He walks out. We walk into the elevator. We didn't even say hello. We walk into the elevator. Doors close. And me and my cousin look at each other. And we were like, was that bloody Troye Sivan? That was bloody Troye Sivan. Hello? And it was a time of like dabbing. Like dabbing was a thing. So you bet your tushes we were dabbing it up in the elevator. We were screaming. My mum was like, what the freak have I done? What the freak have I done? So we went and got food. We could not eat. And then we came back up to the hotel, and all I cared about was seeing Troye Sivan because I didn't speak to him. Like, he walked past us, we walked into the elevator he just came out of. And I was like, oh my God, we have to find him. I need a picture. Like, this is iconic. This is the story I'm taking to school when I get home. Anyway, and he was on tour, and he was with his brother Tide Levi. The girls that get it, get it. The girls that know, they know. And he was with Mama Mellet, his mum. And so he came back to the hotel, and in the Hilton, it's like the foyer, and then you go up in the elevator, the glass elevators, and you've got your room, and like the hallway, but instead of 2 walls, you've got like the wall with your room in it, and then the next wall is like a half wall, so you look down, and all the floors look down into the foyer. So we're outside of our room, and we're like looking down into the foyer, and I'm trying to be like, Troye. And I look down, and my mum is sick of us. We've been there, 2 seconds, and now I'm not even eating. Like, we're screaming, we're looking for Troye Sivan. Like, it was too much. Anyway, we looked down, and I spotted Tide and Mama Mellet in the foyer. We were down there. We were ready to get photos. We got photos with Tide. I'll insert them here. We spoke to them for a little bit. It was the most iconic experience of my literal life. So did that. And that was my first celebrity encounter I can remember. Maybe we'll mention the other one in a later episode. And then, so I met them. And then we had like the next day, I think was the concert that afternoon, like that night. And I still had met Troye. And I was like, I need to meet Troye. Like, what the freak? And then another girl I knew was also in Brisbane for the same concert, but staying somewhere else. And we had told her, like, oh my God, like Troye's staying at our hotel. She ended up meeting him on the mall. And I still had not met Troye. And I was like, what the freak? We had seen Tide again on the mall. Like, and I was so upset. And we got dressed. We were going to the concert. And I was low-key mad. I was like, where the freak is Troye Sivan? Like, I am meant to meet him. Like, hello? Like, that's all I could think about all day. My mum was like, girls, like, what the freak's going on? Anyway, we get ready for the concert. We're coming down the glass elevator. And I can spot from a slight far, Troye and like must have been his manager or someone sat at the same like couch that we met Tide and Mama Mellet on. And that was the moment. We went up, he was on the phone, Troye was on the phone, and his like manager or whatever was like, oh, like he'll be off in a second. And then I don't even know what I said to Troye. I remember he had to ask me if I wanted a photo because I was so like starstruck. And yeah, and then we met Troye, insert photo here. And that was the start. That was like, obviously I was a fangirl from the start, like before that. But every time I went to a concert, every time I went to a meet, like an influenced thing or a YouTuber or whatever, I was like, I've got to meet them. So yeah. But that's a lot of fun story. My laptop's gone off. Yeah, that's some hidden lore that's not really hidden, but just explains my deep fangirl. That gives you an example of the fangirl in me. But yeah, so I have rambled for way too long. Ian's probably so sick of me. 40 minutes. Oh, so that explains a bit about me, sets the tone of me, and I guess the series coming. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see and hear the guests that I have coming because I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this series. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's been so fun making it so far, and I'm glad that it's just the beginning. Like, I'm so excited to start something new, to do something fun, and to do something that I actually want to do. And hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. But yeah. Slay. So excited. Brookstar signing out.